strike, though. From debris and fleeing enemies, James exclaimed. Look, I kept my arm straight getting there. Olivia was the only one that understood. You can keep your arm down and fist to the side of your shoulder too. Your arms won't have to move, just stay still with velocity. Then I have to tank the impact with my arm like resisting steel. Shoulder tendons are weak. The shoulder isn't straightly melted upon my spine. You're still tanking the same thing with your arm straight. Triceps. Satan's head popped up to mock. Mock not, there is no castle. Nemesis. You think what I have in the depths of the circles is pink chewing gum. Be disheartened. Be gloomy. Trust your worst day. You bring yourself closer to your doom. I have all your loved ones and the fate of a realm at my mercy. Do you think I can hurt you like this? Said Nemesis. She knew just where to strike from a position of power, threaten like a god. Satan's head disappeared in smoke as Nemesis tried to cut Nemesis. Great-grandfather Shelby, proclaimed James. I will not fight with you. I am useless of fighting at this level anyway. He looked well-dressed in black-gray forearmless suit, stripes with handkerchief and golden watch, gray cap and shining gray shoes. Wait, you're in hell. James realized secondly. How did you get here? I am guard over the potions, explosives, and ammunitions room. I come from Circle 2, actually. I find it hard to believe you did anything to deserve hell. Crime. Did your grandmother ever tell you which gang I was in? In Birmingham, the Peaky Blinders. I organized racketeering and robbery. I didn't care for hurting people, though. My heart wasn't always in crime. But one thing led to another. Sometimes you have to whack people just to maintain things. The things I did to escape justice in defense and survival. Yet I ended up here. Think I paid enough in labor and forgiveness and boiling torture. They really turn up the temperature for those that like hot baths. I heard you were a different man. There isn't much to choose from in Birmingham. I realize now I have ADHD and can't study. In my time, you were just scolded. Is it still a shithole? So the people say, especially those in Birmingham. Amen. Shelby lit a cigarette. Nice to meet you again. Most of the time, I was just a child buzzing about exciting things. You meant a lot to me, James lad. Everything seemed to be going right. Until my passing, I had it coming. Too much whiskey, no sleep, and excitement combined with an old heart. Alcohol as a poison can kill you even now when combined with the wrong things. If you have low cholesterol, you tend to survive a heart attack. I did the bloody things, right? But now Satan won't let me leave. Only lets a few people off randomly for show, it seems. Another deed. Here's the key to the potions and ammunition room. Sell the bloody gold bullets. There's no monsters there. Lit a fire and blow the place up. Shelby left coolly with his hands in his suit pants. I will investigate, said Arnaud. Boom goes the dynamite. We might need more dynamite deeper in hell, said Olivia. Their minds went numb and forgetful, charmed and unnatural, like sin, as they went through the castle victorious. There were angel-looking women guiding them. Tiny skirts, professional businesswomen too, with sexy ties, red-dressed hourglass figures in the middle of the party. It felt so light following them back into the castle. Let's do that too. The hooves clacked like horses on the stone. Hooves.
Yo, what is this shit?
James realized the hooves didn't fit in. James wrenched out 50% of their control with a sharp mind and screamed. Dangerous thoughts, succubuses.
Low effort.
He slammed his pommel into the ground, knocking everyone off their feet. He figured out to also splash everyone with water magic circular. No, we're virgins, said a soft voice, luring again. Jens had pulled up a sheet of ice so they wouldn't charm off the nearby cliff. Begone, thought. You can't take my virginity because I never lose. Raider. One raider still tried to kiss, but then got his tongue cut off, one dagger down his mouth and one in his throat. He was dying, but he managed to hit a succubus with his frying pan, so hard she turned unconscious. The other succubus got the idea and started firing fire waves from their palms. I can't help I'm horned and hoofed. I'm beautiful. James and Nemesis did such tornadoes of katanas. Succubuses were flying like pigeons in the sky. The succubus fled, still firing. Arnaud strategically hurt them with words. You are as stubborn as a goat. You can't say that. You have climbing skills like goat. Thank you. Then came a frying pan. One pink succubus held her surrendering hands high. I actually want out of here, please. But Satan won't let me on procedures outside of hell anymore. She had curly horns of tulips, mostly naked tattooed, and decorated upper body with many large piercings of large glamour. Sabrina liked to cheekily contemplate and comment her evil brethren, being a succubus like agreeing to evil office workers, but after this work mishap, she has had enough. I will take this opportunity to go. Say that again, Nemesis echoed darkly,
13.
turned psychic, gleaming with her red
kidding.
third eye. I want out of here. She's telling the truth. We can still handle one succubus anyway. Look at these sinners, said succubus Sabrina. They chose lust where they should have chosen reason, and now they are always ugly, cannot intercourse, and tormented. They will still ever chase, not ever fetch the stick. I won't mislead you into a trap. But here is the key to Satan's personal pantry. Delicacies best of the world, indulgence in the best drink, food, and smoke. Collected for himself and replenished where he can. She held a golden key with hollow triangle and a port key of crystal clear ocean. Water and waves splashed around a tiny beach. I shall turn this key and prospect. James, follow me.
Oh, sorry,
Enter
I
rooms of a
like,
million shelves, artifacts containing forgetful mirrors and baubles of insane whispers, permanently getting drunk horns. The key doesn't unlock anything unless you're right proper lost. Cannot be found. Under 10,000 kilos of weight, but you can still move at walking speed. They finally got the end of the room, into an opulent gold and black corridor, and then into a large kitchen and pantry. 2 huge wooden tables in 2 rooms besides. I help the few who need the pantry, she said
Don't read this
mischievously.
right now, it's gonna spoil, I think.
There's a robber's haggis pie and spirit, said Arnaud competitively. I dare you to eat the haggis, James. Succubus Sabrina helped them serve and explain. You guys are super powerful, right? We're getting out? She had her instincts to languish and maim, sunder, becalm them. I can 2 unholy strikes and flex stalwart, indomitable. James. I have beaten every large animal with a baguette. Arnaud. I am the best god for action and ploy. Nemesis. There was beer sausage from Germany and Hungary named. Crispy jalapeno. Chili sundae, Westerbottom cheese 95% beef, horse sausage with truffle, boar, and juniper berry. German hunter sausage, wild mix, and black garlic sausage. There were small kegs of the most expensive French wine. Chateau, Mouton, Margaux, and Mountricot. Irish whiskey, Ashford Castle, and Estate. This whiskey tastes like burning oak, said Arnaud. That's how the best whiskey tastes like. Whiskey proves how little people can drink to exercise, savor, taste. Let me try, they passed it around, happy to spoil someone evil like that. This wine isn't surly, it tastes like expensive juice. Surly Raider. This is why I like red wine. Drank like she had an eternal liver, maybe. Nemesis. Red wine drunk is the worst drunk. Raider. 10,000 euro sake. They coughed, burned, and felt elevated woodily around the table. My grandfather drowned in expensive sake. Raider. Unpoison me, Yensid, so I can drink thus more. I know an unpoisoning spell. He teleported a golden purple spellbook, pulled it from an invisible library. Undo mistakes from quests and qualms. Release my confusion fusion. Look, a rare 50% alcohol beer. Poison ivy. Raider. Pickled gremlin toe alcohol. That curls my toes. With the sausage, they paired Wizard's misspelling. University Exam XL Edition. You only live once, Heartstopper gluten and sugar-free, and Indian Cobra. Royalty keg. Satan appeared larger and more demon than a spirit. Esam will come and flush you out. I will not show myself and fall for this. There seems to be the devil's orchard and his sugar peaches next to the saloon-like doors. Great stuff. Have any more? Said James, mouthful. I would like a whole salted salmon.
I've got soup on my foot now.
You will pay for this. Satan pointed a shadowy finger to the pink succubus. James realized his mistake and threw himself in front of Sabrina. Satan sent a black orb with a hurricane of darkness. The orb tortured James and was hard holding onto. He held on weakening until Satan poofed into diamond dust at Nemesis unholstering her sword. No one has done something nice for me. They never do. Goblins have low EQ, said Sabrina sulky. You were born here? Implored Arnaud, mind blank like a canvas. Succubus are born demons in hell, fairly evil punished between beguiling behacks, can reflect some physical attacks, control the mind, frequent tax evasionists. They really have a problem with this. That's so evil. Well, that could be like, worse said Arnaud, considering worse brutality for some reason. She opened a cabinet with cigars and pipes. There was spiteful snakeweed, lethal lavaland leaf, and gourdweed vintage. They distributed pipes and smoke. This will replenish your mana, said Sabrina, mostly catching Yensid's wizard ear. Huffing and puffing silence. We need some holy gourdweed. Wait, did you say holy gourdweed? Said Yensid. Yensid bent over and farted out 50 leaves, and they quickly started swirling in the air like peace from 2 meters. See, that one is holy gourdweed. Yensid's ass is a rabbit hole of contradictions, contrarianism, abstraction, paradoxical dissonance, said James. Yensid being a wizard, his mana was restored like adrenaline. I don't fully get this spiteful snakeweed. I want some more, though. Blue Mountain, the best cigars in the world, made by elves without manners and debt. Raider. Feels like I'm pulling down roast beef in my lungs. James. This coffee tastes like expensive chocolate and Brazil nuts. Angel. Let's try every coffee. James. Look, coffee candy you put under your lip. You look like a cat. I have time. I will make the time. Raider. James and Succubus sat on a royal green and gold laying couch and relaxed. James stretched and skinny Succubus sat like a princess on his meaty legs. She pulled up into a fetal position, mostly on James' chest. He hugged her and they healed each other in silence. This coffee is almost as aromatic as perfume. It's basically clawing out of the mug. Raiders. That tastes too burnt for me. Raiders. If you just focus on the burnt, you're not going to like Italian coffee. Raiders. I'm going to put some bourbon in my bourbon coffee. Raiders. Satan had some seriously smelly cheeses. Spanish hard cheese, Gouda, and black Swedish monk's cheese. I bet those Swedish monks commit a lot of sins for their black cheese. James felt truly happy as he tried every cheese. Free, exquisite cheese. Thus, he tried haggis with sprinkling cheese. Earthy flavors can be pristine. They have baguette Arnaud, said James like he whispered a secret language.
Euros
I don't like just
coffee.
baguettes. Exquisite cheese tastes more expensive on baguettes. Give me some fried eggs, procured ham, or beef patties. Beef doesn't taste that much. How do you solve this problem culinary, Arnaud? It still has its place. It's unique. Like anchovies, you can bring the flavor from something else like fat. Arnaud hoped this would be enough explanation. Most of them skipped the vodka and high-spirited drinks, being reasonable in gluttony. The Cuban taste is the flavors of the sea. In a kitchen, I feel like a mother. Don't tell anyone. Olivia enjoyed himself in too small equipment. Soon he had made a lobster, langoustine, king crab paella with shallots, perfect rice, king-size serving. This lobster is good. Obviously. Try it with some blue cheese. Eweg Arnaud. No one liked the blue Stilton, expensive as it was. They passed it around like a...
I don't know if this is interesting. As a constipated story. An original, exciting. Let's go to the bathroom, you drop a cannabis in the douche. Holy shit. I can't believe. Then you get up. And then 1 minute later you go back to the bathroom again. You shit just as much. You get up. You're like, oh, I don't feel very well. It's something in my upper stomach, you know. You go and shit just as much again. I feel amazing now. It's much better out than in. My mind is clear. Being constipated is some of the worst pain people feel. I haven't been quite right for 20 years, I think.
No one liked the blue
Sorry.
Stilton. Expensive as it was, they passed it around like a trial. Drunk Arnaud and raiders started fighting with baguettes. Let this be the hour in which we cross baguettes, said an honorable knight, Pius the Presumptuous. Bring it here, I'll show them in it, sacre blue pain, oh chocolate, say, la vie fromage mountain. No one could beat his baguette power, although shaky and insane.
We should put an actual French sentence there.
Arnaud and a raider put saw spots on their heads, intimidated in a circle, and then rammed each other as hard as possible. I will send your spine into another dimension. Your baguette has reached its length. The time is up thus, said a mercenary raider. Yearg they ran like rams and collided shoulder to shoulder. Both forgot to time the swing. On the floor the raider laid, comfortable in alcohol percent. Get up, I'm not done with you. They charged again. Clash, asterisk. Arnaud had cut through his opponent's baguette and his shirt. The mercenary bobber Sven fell defeated, white-eyed down on his knees. We need more baguettes. Until we cross baguettes again. There's no victory against Felix, Arnaud savage. I cannot win, I mean I cannot lose. Mr. Forearms, Olivia, legendarily, picked up the last baguette silently. I'll just say your baguette complacency, arrogance will be your undoing, his impossibly deep voice said. Arnaud combed his hair. Both took a double grip on the baguettes. Bloodlust more like baguette lust, said a raider content of spectating and not acting. R-A-A-R-G-H, they sped like jousting horses. The horses were proud and fierce. It sounded like two metal beams being hit as Arnaud and Olivia crossed baguettes. Both were covered in fighting spirit, absolute unit. Olivia was stronger, but Arnaud had the silver offensive assassin absolute unit technique. Baguettes shaked under the pressure as they used their powers. Power baguette. Ancient baguette tech. Cuban beggar, low man's lyric. The clashing brought spheres of power. It knocked both of them to the opposite ends of the room on their asses eventually. Arnaud was confident, focused, and got up relentlessly. Paris baguette. Mr. Olivia flexed absolutely unit. Chest hair indomitable triple outlift. Arnaud missed his target through being swept by drunk winds out the window. Wow, someone got up on the wrong side of the bed today, sniff. Raider. Yes, should have closed the window. James. More games, people. Bet on who do you think will arm wrestle. Me and Olivia, said James. Arnaud jumped into the window back. I bet 1 silver ingot. They bet evenly between them. Olivia was wider and had more muscle. Olivia drank a safety grog, swallowed like he was parched and his throat a murderer. Go. In 5 seconds, they upped the power even more. Both seats broke. Olivia's shorts caught on fire. Table got dense and the arm swung to Olivia's favor. He was strong like a Tyrannosaurus, could, rare ancient strength. James resisted at lowest point, bending his hand. But James had better technique. With a finger on the table, he pulled his upper body to the left and backwards. Olivia seemed unbalanced, and he slammed his hand into the table, having his fist close to his chest, bending over. I understand your technique, Olivia said analyzingly. Lads, you are going to be drunk and hangover forever. No more. You get impaired because of what the alcohol does to your vascular organs. Take this Olivia grog fix. He picked up some jars with pills. Everyone gathered around. A raider got goat ears. Look what I found, said Arnaud, finest Spanish hard Turin nougat. I don't like the soft Turin. It tastes like oversweet. I think this one will be perfect, James. The Turin went fast. They tried nougat with almonds, walnuts, cashews, dried berries, and whiskey. You know, this is worth a lot, even if it doesn't sell as much as gold, said James with a kind of sorrow in his voice. I shall stash it next to the gold. Raid the pantry, raiders. You're worth a lot in my book for this horned lass, said James. You showed us food, James' voice was loving and mesmerized, looking in the distance. I wanted to taste these things out of reach too, said the succubus cutely. She kissed him long on the cheek. I just hope we don't face the clown. Enter labyrinth of considerable, doubting, generous agony. We're still in the circle of lust, gentlemen, said James intelligently. So what is going to happen? We're going to be drawn towards agony and danger through lust. At 5 entrances into the labyrinth stood 20 succubus, waiting to sin an incorrect declaration. Greeting, gentlemen, said a gorgeous half-demon. Welcome to the labyrinth. You can see minus the Minotaur, of course. He might have some relatives. Take some of us with you to guide you through the right way. Sabrina whispered sexily to James. I don't think we can trust a single one. It's not about using their knowledge. Follow me. I know bits and pieces. James went to the least attractive succubus. What do you say? With speech impediment, she said, furthest right. Many succubus seemed interested in following them, like with obsessive movement. Do you know what might fare in that tunnel? They said. Jens had made an ice wall, and they slid down and away. They came upon 3 ways, one looking swampy, one thorny, and one blazing. The thorny one only hurts you a little bit. Take that one, said Sabrina. Is it the right way? Said a raider with an orange Viking beard. Most of them crossed paths again in the middle. The raiders changed armor and used spells against the thorny hedges. I'll jump and see our route, said Arnaud. He jumped and hit a magical roof enough to break his neck. That's not going to work, and don't disrespect the gardener of all these hedges. James used his psychic powers to sense plotting succubus behind them, hot sauce and hot and cold routes ahead. Now what way? Some succubus flew and landed next to them. They were looking angel-like, dreamy of your consciousness. Take these 2 routes, both are fine. Come this way, and we might include you in our sexy Maxima mattress. The party was getting afflicted and lightheaded like fate. Pink succubus Seth. It's true there might be some sexy time, but they will execute you in a cannon afterwards. Back off, sexy people, said James. We know your mirage. Do you think we're going to break theatrics? One said honestly. You have a betrayer amongst your ranks. How ironic. Once again, James' words made people directly attack Sabrina. Arnaud deflected immolation strikes and magic with his baguette kite shield.
Baguette?
James stomped the ground with impact magic, pulling the succubus off their feet. Yensid froze them with but magic thus. 1,000 refrigerators filled with cerveza cristal. I don't remember this well, said Sabrina. Stay thorny maybe. And so they did. They found a burning soul, Alexandria. This is a soul that did everything right in her religion and ways of culture, but she wanted someone else. She cheated on whom she knew could be turned. She never had control over her lust-like, curious ideas. You can join our raid, and maybe we can find a way out for you. Let me guess, Satan won't let you out. I cannot stop my longing, I think. I am hopeless, but now I am gray and clay-colored, a zombie of decay, weakness, office energy vampires. Yet this isn't worthy of hell, said Arnaud. We shall heal you. I haven't felt like this in 40 years. Of course you can control yourself, said James. Some people think they can't. Look, press this lightning rod. It will zap you to your senses whenever you need it. Can you punish yourself when you need to? Of course, she said solemnly. Then you can control yourself. Punishment looked easy for you. Too much self-punishment means your worth is more. Being healed, she turned into a graceful, white, dressed woman,
23?
braided brunette, looking Greek, feminine like walls closing in and ancient. I escaped the wrath of my sister right before I died, said Alexandria. I regret it. What do you think she is lying about, said Arnaud to James cleverly. They all lie. A woman like her? Revenge in relationships. Maybe. They play an advanced game. She was an ancient, wise soul, reincarnated almost maximum times.
Man, I gotta make some
Later upon
coffee.
thorny exit and fiery coast.
You know?
A male succubus? I exist for women and gay joyful men. Satan plows, not like God.
Otherwise I
He
won't
looked like
feel
Chernabog.
things are meaningful,
2 horns going up, then sharp backwards. Gray,
We have
dark
one
red,
summer
and
cola,
black
man.
colored skin in different layers. He was sexy and logically square. The muscles were more like layered steel, almost forged into a weapon. 2% body fat,
Give me 5
so every one
minutes.
of his rather medium muscles were grainy and gritty. He was sleek with large legs and 3 times 1 decimeter clawed feet and 1 heel back like a lizard. You could not help us and want to leave hell? You can buy me for a prize, he said coldly and logically. I will tell you the correct route next, maybe. Here's some thick cigars, Turin nougat, and cheese from Satan's own personal pantry, and a not very heavy gold ingot, seduced James. Go left, he said. Where does the coast lead? If you have a sturdy enough boat to a land beyond death, time, responsibility, another plane. The left route turned right, and they saw a lustful succubus charming the pants off of a tortured soul. This gang criminal did more than one thing illegal, said the succubus. He relied on fear to get where he wanted, including here. This man will do a righteous deed, but take revenge when someone corners him. He only understands punishment as he dealt for snitches. The man did not react to them in his evil, simple world in truth. You know what? Carry on, said Arnaud. I have had more than my fill of this. We're not going to take everyone on this hell longboat. James enjoyed playing along. Take this Turin nougat, you didn't see us. I can feel the exit from here, said James spiritually, but it need be complicated to go ever straight. Let's test the labyrinth, said Arnaud, and twacked with his baguette. I have stored my farts in my small intestines for years for a moment like this. Sabrina threw up in her mouth. Some leaked across her hand. Are you sure you can do this, said James. This ancient but magic used to preserve power for when you get old or sick. Archeon, ass of Anglian. The fart made an earthquake with one vowel. Rocks started levitating around. Everyone fell except for Arnaud. The one vowel was met with another fart. Wisdom of old and power of youthful modern. Unveil the cosmic truth, unleash. With the power of an atomic bomb, Yensid leveled the labyrinth about 90% in the direction James showed. The ass-shredding fart was so powerful he felt fate guiding him, just the right angle. It echoed in every wall and valley and awoke the gods above sleepy. Minus the Minotaur had turned the corner. His head exploded like C4, and he fell on his knees forwards. Raid boss down, said Yensid. Above the awoken gods, Uller, Tyr, and Thor debated which were manliest. I am fearless, said groggy Tyr. I am a hunter, said Uller. He had 2 crows. One of that would tell you about your past, one that would tell you about your future. I am stronger than you without my bracelets and power belt of stubble legends. Thor. Now to climb over rubble in a straight direction. It smelled like garlic and yeast. Wow, it feels so nice to be gas-free after 20 years. Sabrina threw up and fainted as an empath, realistic. James caught her before she hit the ground. Arnaud threw up because Sabrina threw up. I learned some butt magic, Deafin said James conversationally. Might pick up more, he said, just like he wouldn't mind fate taking him any path on his sure, intelligent audacity. Ah, that is good, said Yen Sid. Nobody expects it. Another direction you can attack with. He stroked his wizard's beard. They saw interesting amounts of thorns, ivy, coal, and bronze, ice hell, and fire climbing over the labyrinth. Everyone that had been caught in the 90-degree blast had died. Some bodies stood feet left. There seemed to be an agility course over lava they had demolished. At the end of the labyrinth. You will not cheat. You won't get out of here in the first place. A giant, 7 meters high, ran towards them with gray, crispy skin and a skinny build. It was Cleopatra, a lustful sinner. She still looked royal, with white, lightweight clothes, golden ornaments and details, jewelry obvious and large. Maybe she wasn't just a prisoner of sin here. She wore a crown 3 times wider than her head of gold, horns, flags, and leather. It was small at the back and front, almost like a pair of horns. She came and wiped the ground with her arms. It was a simple technique, but the crowd flew, like specks. She couldn't hit James, he was a unit, but then she ferociously thought to grab him off the ground. He was not as heavy. With speed technique, the golem arm extended on a chain all the way to her face. What an impact! It sounded like a gunshot and hit like a mantis shrimp. Mantis shrimp is a kind of boxing shrimp unique for its vision. 250 colors and punches so fast and strong they lit the surrounding water on fire at 300 kilometers per hour. It made Cleopatra flip in the air one vault and landed on her foot, one knee. Fiery, she went for James again, swiftly, but James picked up her feet. They were not going anywhere. She pulled back, but James excavated the ground with his strength. He pushed her foot, left which threw her off balance and almost fell. Recovered with her other foot, James pulled back like a god, and Cleopatra was pulled down her on, but together James and Arnaud hit her in the face. Paris baguette. Superior stylo's impact. Her feet flew high in the air from action, and her face was dusted. Why do you have this cursed form, O goddess? Arnaud. I am eternally cursed for my sins and deals, but my blood is royal like blue. But don't forget my body is a weapon unique from power and input. She got up like a dancer and wheel-kicked everyone. If you face me, you will be broken, said James. Give up. I don't think so. You think I will bow before you? I fear not the power of man. Slave driver. Flashy execution. She was going to kick down James in the ground. Slave driver. Flashy execution.
Shut up.
Slave driver.
God damn it. I'm sorry, I did a coffee break. I'm sorry, I did a coffee break. It was necessary. Things felt kind of empty without it, you know, because my life is not stable and I'm not happy. Nah, it's not that bad.
Slave driver. Flashy execution. She was going to kick down James in the ground. No goddamn slave, thought James with aura of retribution. Our sticker series, God Killer. Cleopatra reacted upon the name instinctively, but did not change attack. She is fury like the gods of the sea. Quickly hitting foot to fist, it was decided. Cleopatra, like getting hit by a 50 by 50 meter fist, flew into the horizon. The fiery punch left the air ablaze in a circle and the surrounding rock landscape sooty. Worrisome, the punch seems to break time and space a bit. Cracks in the fabric, you could look into cosmos. Heathen god, said Olivia. I felt power like nothing human, said James. I feel a strange wind blowing, said Sabrina. It's so foul I feel the end of everything fair. When they looked, they didn't see him at first. The clown. Do you want to hear a funny noise? He said, concerned with insanity. He's going to torture you in a choking headlock, said Sabrina faintly to James. N-N-N-N-N-N-N-I-G-H. Watch the next scream. Twist and he die. The clown was dressed expensively like an aristocrat. White suit. Behind his metal mask that was wounded and bloody was a red clown. Hair sticking out twice like a baguette. He was so concerned with his imaginary world, he didn't consider them targets. Can we bribe you? You didn't see us, said James confidently, but it was surprisingly hard. James' instincts now told him of an impossibly extreme enemy. He had to find his backbone, yet at the same time it told him his back might be broken. You will not find yourself deeper in hell. I know who you are. He didn't though. He summoned from the hell floor a gray signpost with an exclamation mark on it and started twisting around insane. James approached, ready to fight someone he realized now would be one of his most powerful adversaries yet. Fate told of him of danger. timelines of death and brilliant success. If you stick to darkness and linger, you will die. The clown sprinted with feet standing still and twacked so hard with the signpost James flew 2,000 meters per second back. Arnaud unleashed his cross baguette like it was equally dangerous. Another hit from the clown blocked by the baguette felt wild, but Arnaud was knocked back 4 meters, sliding on his feet, then unbalanced despite sacrificing his surroundings, fell. But the cross baguette could defend the clown's offense. James felt strange as he regained his perception. He used healing technique used to heal broken noses. It wasn't effective enough. He used a healing mana, restoring pink bottle he had from Dragon's Nest, and felt strangle uneven. Fine. Flew a fiery feet back as quickly as he could. The clown was blocked by the cross baguette, but the blow was unreal. A white-brown church castle with 3 towers erect from the ground knocked Arnaud considerably off. Sabrina started messing around with her succubus mind powers. It was very effective. Master confusion expertise. Bard's shitty symphony. Clown of unlimited partying started acting strange if he didn't before and started clawing his head. Party, put your fingers in your ears. Yensid said fire in the hole and farted the clown's eardrums out. The C4, like explosion, knocked him to the ground, but as we can see, it looked like he was standing up as he was on the ground twisting. The incapacitating by the enemy made Yensid charge up his ass. Sonic boom. Yensid came squatting ass first, knocking him over and bruised. Yensid came unexpectedly with a twice as strong knocking over. Power. Sonic boom. Sheer force. You're already dead, he pointed to the wizard. Sheer force like shearing sheep. Yensid dodged a charging signpost strike that seemed to tear up everything around it. Very skillfully indeed, and charged powers sucking in the surroundings of energy, and fire thus in his ass. Everything turned silence for a second as the great suction into Yensid stopped. The signpost shattered violently as a result. ARRHHH in his hands with Tier 13 ridiculous magic tier, and a part of his head seemed ruined and destroyed, broken with his signpost. The clown pulled out his claws, a 3-claw like catter. James came back soaring and went for a kick into coy-clawing clownery. The clown didn't move and maybe took damage, but he acted like nothing happened. The clown terrorized the party with a flurry of claws that teleported between them. They were all bloody and grievously cut soon. The mist of blood soon hit the ground. Face me, you ugly fucking clown. What did you say about the wound in my head? The clown was aggravated. James picked up his Maystar Naginata fresh of any blood and started intimidating in the air. The flurry of claws, like by a puppeteered ragdoll, was met by James poking and deflecting. It was slightly too fast for his cat-like, still reflexes to fight. Absolute unit. Chest of Arnold Schwarzenegger. James turned onyx black for 2 seconds as the clown clawed his chest, then went Arabesque lightweight punch.
Looking good.
The punch clearly made a deafening impact for a second as the clown just tanked the attack. He lost his voice and gaped, spitting blood on one knee. The clown was lost. His armor fell slowly, broken. It revealed blackness and cosmos. This was an entity not understood by degrees of Davenport and scholar scrutiny. The clown took his time recovering from the punch, but then unfortunately started twitching and doing erratic bending of body parts. James' instincts flared. Like the howl of the insane moon, his enemy was several times stronger and more erratic now. RATRGH, the clown, had summoned a hell train and had ran over James faster than he could react. Tears in the fabric of time and space-time revealed impossible. James flexed. Absolute unit. Crystalline ignotus. As the train came again, James blocked Indomitable and then countered through the train. Like the punch had spear reach, he punched through with almost unlimited power and a clown. The clown laid on the ground, unconscious. How do we destroy an enemy like this? Said Arnaud. With explosives. They loaded him full with dynamite and went 50 meters away before exploding. The weakened clown split mostly head from torso and laid across the Hell's Gate. He defied death until he realized and admitted he was dead himself. Down into Circle 5. Treachery, betrayal, and murder / violence on weekdays / home theater systems. This is the place you know for people who buy the most expensive video / audio systems and only watch football. Russell Crowe is going to beat you up. The fairest treated here are treacherous of country and regimen, not betraying friends and family. For those thrones were just a game, and politics just a way to murder. They are constantly in rigged games where they will be betrayed. No matter how they think strategically and gain favor, they melt and torture and die just to relive the thing again for every life they took. Some here are responsible for 100,000 deaths and will be here for basically eternity. They can only know one death ahead, what their fate is. I guess if it's maybe death over one last death, they would figure it out. Satan keeps twisting their minds with games of give me your soul. Don't be reborn ever. Grant me your power. Hell is a special place for violent crime. You reap what you sow, especially it is endless nights of fighting, running, draining you enough to want to die forever. To those who lived out violent crime lives, Satan sits on and bullies fair. He likes being the punishment of the wicked. There is no fairness for those that cannot control their anger, hot ambition. They are victims to alien faces they know they must please, but are impossible and have the most fearsome nightmare consequences. Hunted by people they must make amends, but only works as far to motivate them, there is a point. At the gate into the abyss, they came across one of the lords of hell, Asmodeus. They could sacrifice intelligence for a week, but would grow painfully into new double the IQ points. Asmodeus, Mammon, never content with their place in hell, always looking for more. Greetings, beast of 7 equal lords. He had 4 crab legs in a circle for meters. His face, huge pumpkin-like, was his face on his stomach. On his head, without a face, sat still a crown with horns curved back and forth, growing where his eyes would be. The crown was wide, wild, and beastly. He was black and parts boiling red, fat bodybuilder arms, polearm and halberd. He was auxiliary in rule and general, evil primary. You look alive, he scowled with his giant mouth. It looked like a wave. I offer a deal, as you know, for alive and hell personnel. Offer your flesh. Poison your mind for 1 to 6 IQ points. You will be fine eventually, about 8 days. Noon can stand the cut of more than 6 IQ points. I am Lord of Temptation. You will not escape with intelligence and being wise. I will trade 5 IQ. I have decided, said Arnaud. BWA Che Che. Arnaud's body twisted horribly and unnaturally. Bones broke, and he handled the pain whence it came. A face-grabbed creature jumped on him and muffled him. He laid on the floor, being absorbed. Pain is fleeting. From damage we grow fine, said James, 6 IQ points. Asmodeus cut out his eyes with both claws. BWA Che Che. Asmodeus stabbed him with a spear of Egyptian corruption in the stomach, making him sick and brittle, like pressure in the skull. My eyes. Bloodied, claw-cut face, were he hollow and helpless. Try to see more than half the picture. Suffer with consciousness impair. James grew his spiritual sense. It was thus a 3-meter sphere around him, like he could see through piercingly secrets. I can lightning and healing magic that can let you see until we are done in hell. Nemesis used godly palm healing. Do we have to fight Satan? I cannot let you just fight him. You might slay the Lord of Hell's Cape and Red Boiling Skin. You will fall, and you will not defy my pole arms. James. Write about fighting 2 bonus Lords of Hell.
Yeah, let me enjoy
At
this
Circle
stuff.
5, they met Deji, a fox like human
Or
with 9 tails,
caramel
body-long
hazelnut
tails designed to torture.
delicacy.
One of the worst weapons of the gods. Greetings, Deji. She was cutting a man 1,000 times and lighting them on fire on her powwow. Adventures gather, I know of the war.
It is so
She seems
smooth,
like
it
the
is like
ISFP
elevating.
personality, the adventurer, if you will. Completely unique world of feelings, harmonizing in morals. Unique like the most beautiful painting. Yet they are concerned with getting on action. To live through their senses one more time, a fragile adventure sometimes sturdy. Are you going to fight? Said Arnaud, accented. I am busy with these souls. I have no purpose if the gods don't grant me one. You are a vessel? Said Arnaud. I am a weapon, but Emperor Zhou is dead forever. Your violence is legendary, said Olivia and bowed. Cuts, burns, and bleeds to languish. Deji flirted back like they were at the cinema. Don't toy with me, Olivia. I like it when they burn. You should try chemical burns. Analyzing the power of burns and chemistry might be done through scientific curiosity, et.c. But there is also sin and insanity. Do you deserve to be here? Can you leave? Said James. I work here. I just think it's the gravest punishments for the gravest errors. Would you fight Satan? How about that? Said Arnaud. I believe in the winning side. Smarter James said, we're the winning side. I can kill Satan in one hit. She didn't realize it was the Nemesis unsheath. Cousin, said Nemesis, you know I can kill him too. Nemesis, I didn't even know you were here. I barely leave Circle 5 anymore. You are bloodthirsty. Come be judged by my third eye. If we can have some fun first.
Oh, that's so good. It's making me
Say no, said James.
That was my honest reaction.
It feels spiritual. Satan's fall, Nemesis looking about. Deji. Satan appeared in a harrow, endless void and vortex. You won't believe what I say next. Satan. Fight us now. We're going to deepest hell double quick. None to fight us. By as my ancient's retribution. James.
I'm gonna be so fucking upset.
Satan thought they might not find my ancient weapons deeper down. E.T. Hey. Why would I fight you? I would escape your clutch just to annoy you. Fiddle dick, black leprechaun. You fight like old people fuck your mom, James. Black leprechaun? That word has kept us down 400 years. I didn't mean it like that, Satan said in a neutral voice. Not even Satan, as an ENTP, is racist. It will be fun to fight you here. I'll do it if you all drink this black brain death, brain slug potion first. It's not worth it, said Deji. Then Satan's spirit form got hit brutally by a thrown scythe. Hail, friends, said Death. He unveiled his 26-inch arms in an armless hood. Gray skin and what seemed gleaming. His hood was harrowing and certain. He was present and motivated. Another scythe was summoned, differently looking into his hand. He can't transform back now. Let's see if Satan is true to his word. Death. You think you're going to fight Satan in his true form? Well, good luck, Satan said like a joker. What did he mean? He meant things like hiding a golden spear. They didn't hear it thus. The power of Satan could be felt as he grew 6 meters, sucked in blood, fire, and energy from his taunting spirit turned a demon monster. 16 spikes on his back, almost as long as he. Spikes everywhere, in his head, on his elbows, on his long, thick lizard's tail. The first Lord of Hell was boiling red with a small, well normal-sized face on a giant body. His face was long like a baguette with the horns making his head round. Enough muscles to contest Olivia. Some of his spikes seemed black crystal, trapping, cosmic horror, and revelations. Shields up, said Death. Satan breathed fire like it was black lightning on everyone. Death saved them by sacrificing past victims of his. Then Satan stomped, making a ring of fire expand quickly that hit everyone, not unlike a punch. James and Nemesis brought out their katanas and went for different knees, slicing, gliding on their knees too. Can't cut what you can't hit, Nemesis, said Satan, and jumped behind her, then stomped her into the ground with his lizard-shaped foot. Satan summoned fireballs, with rocky exteriors slowly traveling in a circle further and further out. Olivia, underestimating, got hit by a lightning strike, 2 rendering him sooty and unconscious. Perfect infinite ultra baguette. Arnaud came fighting. Satan clashed with his baguette and spiked hands. Once, twice, thrice. But Satan turned around and hit him with his 4M tail. It broke his baguette and hit him in the chest, his eyes whitening, falling back upon the ground. That's a fucking baguette. This shit we don't see in hell, said Satan, scowling. Stuffy Frenchman, said the pink succubus. Olivia, like a beast, got up with hair spiky in all directions and life tested. You're not mad. I quit your team, said Olivia menacingly and put himself in front of Satan. I'm an adult. I can handle it if someone quits my team, he said like he was in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Satan and Olivia started wrestling, and James thought it would be a good idea to throw some throwing weapons. Jesus Christ, they were strong. It was like watching two Cuban dinosaurs. Eventually, Satan headbutted Olivia and sucker punched so good in a combo, he went unconscious. Satan was stronger. Even unconscious Olivia seemed concerned with fighting someone. His body did not fall. Satan lashed through their backline and chomped up weak people and artillery like they were weak to melee. James was charging up power. Be careful, Satan can turn you into a hamster. I see you, you shit, said Satan. And they jumped at each other at the same time, Satan higher. Power of the fallen, Satan. Supreme 5-inch punch. Impossible, Satan was stronger. Instead of getting injured, the punches colliding broke the ceiling and floor into a 10-diameter circle. James has never felt such power. It was godly. It was fiery, unfair hatred. Some Satanists had started spectating in cool black clothes and were playing Behemoth, the Satanist. Tectonic shift. Satan knocked everyone off the ground, pulling the floor up and smashed them with the giant cave roof. Come on, Arnaud. Death is a good day living for. Here, let me pull one of Death's tricks, said Death. He made Arnaud drink Death's Defiance adrenaline potion. Boahaviche, Satan laughed demonically 1v1 time. Everyone was crystallized in black ice, and then Satan teleported instantly everyone into a close by arena with imp spectators and thick hellspawn. Order of Holy Clement, Eternal Infinite, Baguette. Arnaud summoned a shiny cross, great baguette, sapphire speckled. Only Satan seemed to understand and fear. It shone like pure light, and Arnaud's gaze was determined. They clashed 3 times left, and right then, Arnaud made such a baguette blow it blew Satan to his knees. World baguette. But Satan had drunk one of Hell's secret weapons, the teleportation assault potion, which allowed you to teleport closely as quickly as you could think. Choke on your baguette. The baguette strike missed, but Arnaud turned around to block at least one stab with a bone shiv. Satan teleported 8 times in 8 directions around Arnaud in 4 seconds and stabbed Flurry. Oni Wairai, Demon Spear. Satan teleported above and then drop-kicked him down, Arnaud's eyes whitening again as he bounced off the floor. Satan's scaled skin was blood red and moist like a snake with the most muscle of anyone there. Death is coming hither. Next up, Nemesis, and Satan said, she thinks I'm unjust. Some gods above started watching the duel. Satan tried to punch, but Nemesis dashed so fast, several times until she had Satan's back. She slashed his back 7 times. He couldn't get her off, but Satan had a lot of spare spikes and muscle to fight with. Once again, she was out of patience. Nemesis' unholy strike speed technique. But Satan's cat-like mind and reflexes had put himself behind her. ARRRGH. Nemesis had been impaled in the stomach by his tail and had been raised high. James, in red retribution, Aura crushed his black crystal and took the hero's way of aid. The good always wins eventually, Satan, said James, and unleashed his polearm and shield. You, the dark, shall disappear before the light. I have 1,000 lives of perfect samurai ready to strike you eternal. I see your insecurities and fears like a buff. Satan teleported forth an impossibly large sword, 6 meters by 1.5 meters jagged. Spare me, said James, choking on manliness. It will be good enough dash. Satan teleported above him and sat on his fiery sword and tried to go for James' back. Absolute unit, back of Ronnie. Teleporting and dropping onto James' back did not break his unit, but the sounds were maddening steel on steel that bang distorted and emitted a shockwave. They were both knocked around. No one has ever survived that attack. Oni Deathwish. Satan swung his 6-meter sword, but James, being even quicker than Satan, blocked with his shield. The blowback was absorbed with his surroundings, sacrificed, destroyed. Undying Hate. Satan made a Satan cross on the ground in the middle of James with his foot, that then also made an expanding fire ring. James figured it would be lethal and turned into elemental spirit. Unholy Strike Nemesis speed technique. By putting half his stamina into a sot of Death Satan's arms were sliced off. Then he channeled Not Normal in the Moment power and crushed his 6-meter weapon. Surprised Satan sacrificed an undead friend to make him permanent skeletal arms with swirls of black and green mist where it was. Let me get into your hate. Satan's eyes blazed red. No, James would not fight anyone as maddening red hate started to tell him to attack everyone. His head gleamed red. Yensid stood in front of James and blocked with holy magic. I fear not the first Lord of Hell. As Satan teleported behind Yensid teleported behind Satan and attacked with his ass. True ass laser, sight of eternal and first book of ass law. The rainbow laser appeared like an alien weapon. Satan blocked with a dark void, Queen of the Dead dimension spinning, mostly. You will not hurt my friends. Yensid upped the power and Satan's skin started to melt into pink muscle and he stunted on his knees, arms hanging. ARRGH, Satan melted more than ever. True form of Satan, said thus and grew another 3 meters. Diablos with red dragon wings, more muscular, regrew his arms and longer spikes. I'm sorry, James, that's all I had. He survived. Yensid laid on his back, ass smoking. Use this steroid potion given by our archangel. Wait, I can only open it with my ass. James drank and felt aggressive and unclear, easily aggravated, legendary. James grew another meter in true black nemesis, twice as powerful. James transformed like swirling muscles, a sentinel, a unit. James came charging at Satan. Cracked punches, Kraken. James assaulted too fast and without oxygen technique. James came with speed technique and turned around to Yensid as he knew Satan would teleport to him. Before Satan could puncture Yensid with his tail, James hit Satan in the face. James made for a wide, aggressive grin, putting everything in as Satan got explosively punched out of the arena. After some hovering and staring, Satan teleported behind James. James punched his face straight up. Goddamn, that was less than 10 milliseconds, thought Satan. I might not be able to hit world record reflexes. Eternal Hell, neck break. Satan used physics cheating to allow for neck break endeavor, using James like a skateboard. James' neck bent in absolute unit, but he didn't die, protected by a guardian angel. No pain indeed. Let us punch and see who is strongest, said Satan to James. This is it. James did the Nemesis katana strike, surprisingly, 3 times. Satan teleported away from them. James didn't feel like stopping at all and charged magical stamina into his fist with lightning eyes. Our Skicker series, Lightning Super Collider. Satan retaliated in a pure demonic voice, deepest harrow. Satan punched James in the face, but James hit him too. Quickly, it was decided James was stronger, with a shockwave that swept everyone off their feet, secondary explosions of force, and dust clearing electrically. James crushed Satan's power. ARRRRRRGH. Satan screamed sincerely and long-flying as his every teeth and spike had been shattered from the power. His consciousness was giving up like poisoned steroid biastum. Enough. You think I'm giving you shit. I'm out of here. See all you wish you ended my reign with Sister Lucy. It's Lucy, said Olivia out loud like a thinker. Satan teleported out of the arena in defeat and summoned a magical, huge, fancy, black dwarven motorcycle, fit the Lord of Hell called Painkiller. It was one piece of monstrous, gleaming steel, and he sat toothless. It blazed away, leaving a meter-high trail of fire. It's one of the secret weapons of hell, said Olivia. He's going to retreat into a plane you cannot access. Catch up with him, James. Yensid. With speed technique, James ran like a gunshot, but as he came into groping range, Satan pushed a red button, and the motorcycle sped 3 times as fast at least. James launched from the ground, but mostly forwards with rocket feet and wings of Leonardo. He needed to go faster. The motorcycle was still going into the horizon. He pushed more fire magic out of his feet turning into like blue plasma cannons 1 meter in diameter. This was unstable. It felt like he was being drunk. He broke through the sound barrier like a gunshot. All evil things looked up. 2 times, he went faster than he thought was possible. Into a wasteland of black, brown, and red horizon, he sped enough to see thus the motorcycle in a blur. 3 times faster than he thought was possible. Rocks and architecture followed in a cyclone in his wake. He was closing into the ground now, and Satan, ripping everything off the ground. Symphony of a dying star. James crashed like Armageddon into thus, fist on his shoulder side. An explosion of 25 by 25 meters growing, through everything in the air eventually. Plates and Hell's Cape. As he smashed through Satan's back, he died. Satan was dead. James carried his body back on the motorcycle he figured how to use from the future. Ruby rivers flowing red. Satan is dead. Rest in peace, fallen angel. Long live the new queen of hell. She is right here. Deji had bought Lucy, a demon-looking supreme, sister to Satan in paralyzing, agonizing weave. Corruption from everything withered. Lots of horns from demons and souls hovered slowly into the sky, back to limbo and the court of hell. This is the deal. You better run hell in an uncorrupted way, said Arnaud, taking the lead. But we will do this to every one of your family. Yensid stabbed the drama. Yensid put his Aschicrobes against the ear of an orc tide. Immediate judgment, farting unicorn, and blew the blood and gruesome brains out of the other ear of the orc. Wasted. If you are worthy, you will not explode. She looked at the corpse of her dead brother. Do you know how excruciating this will be? She said, sweet yet psychotic. End of Hell chapter. The raiders procured weapons like the Atlantean sword and trident of deep godly angers. The motorcycle and pets of hell were considered. Many contraptions from Leonardo da Vinci. Legendary item, the sky harpoon, a magical treant. Indeed, James froze and cut out ingots of gold from circles of greed. Everyone carried. James would keep to the succubus, and in a crush she to him, he showed the outside world and explained to the evil nature. She would be enthralled by jobs, learning, and teaching you could do. Hell explained things well, through like the finish. A horde of agonizing hell population came with the group into the elevator leading from Circle 2 to 1. Understaffed Lucy had actually brought some angels from heaven to sort out all those people deserving to get out of hell. Finally, they sat in the court with Ouroboros. He knew through this was not the time for him and just kept it about the people. Hilarious, Ouroboros said as they exited, Satan died for his sins. He was never here for the staff, abusing like a king. Will you grant us passage out? You are only cursed if you came in here, dead gentlemen. I'll throw, I can deny you exit if I feel like it. Demonic blood pulled. What inspired your immediate unicorn attack? Yensid. Double rainbows? I was observing the farting steroid unicorns in their natural habitat, being disguised as steak, and they kept farting in my ear. The most common farting unicorn name is Seabreeze. Love letter from Satan to Jeff Bezos. Please make another mistake. James spent 2 years learning university, with fancier silk drapes over the shoulder and puffy, deep blue, mage-looking scholar armor. He had gone up to 175 IQ. His future glimpses were now seen like certainty, rooms of adept emotion.
I just wrote this.
A few days later, a pleasant 2 weeks. Weeks of toiling through spiritual productivity, technically and intellectual performance. They were sitting in the university benches being considered with own theories and papers. What if there's another plane? What shall be our next plane? The planets are connected like cousins. Unless the dimension is flat and demanding. Everyone knows of the coffee bean Caribbean islands, Grand Island Plain. Let's go, there are beans and legends. Caribbean on Earth is not discovered. The place is 50% oxygen compared to Earth's 20%. It will make for different species and generous ability, evolution. You'll get used to it. It's not dangerous, makes the rum taste better. Great sleep, like waking up lucky, and with enough pressure to the chest, the oxygen recovers the brain. True. You might just as well pressure with your arms, pushing your chest. I say, let's align with the French. There is strategy between every territory, and they're all eager to have us. Fine. Let's go through stormy lightning jetting night, through the portal of dimensional greed. I will sell my service and competence, like a new set, contemporary. Legendary Yen-TJ, pirate Napoleon Reblochon, not Bonaparte, was about productivity, excellence, productivity, efficiency, and productivity. He had a plan for everything, but an INEJ would have had too, and when there wasn't action, he thought of strategies. What is his purpose spiritually being so rare, yet so focused on society and thoughtless work? Maybe it is not about work. Maybe it is the sensitive plan and determination behind society, a hidden angle. There was action about him, speaking so quickly and with such indignation to work. Maybe he'd be reincarnated as flashy Steve Jobs, which is also in Yen-TJ. Actually, it's the past, but not while I'm writing this. He had dreams and career dreams, like a strategy, but in a dreamlike state. This had some sensitivity. But the one to ruin their plans is usually their neurotic, bad mental health, or likelier than tough words with toughness that's met like summoning a first layer.
I don't know, I think of something else maybe. Some agility, some mining. Some FC for shooting stars, 110 mining. Yeah, whoops, I lost track of time there. I don't know what to do.
He had dreams and career dreams, like a strategy, but in a dreamlike state. This had some sensitivity. But the one to ruin their plans is usually their neurotic, bad mental health,
Funny feeling
or
like,
likelier than tough words
Pharaoh,
with toughness that's met like
Pharaoh
summoning
with,
a first layer of tolerance.
Good coffee to drink.
Napoleon was a man that was as tough as it gets, like James. Let's see if they will argue about anything that a leader with a powerful arsenal of friends. He made friends with thinkers, and was a self-improver compared to their super-efficient group, counterpart the boss, or secretary personality. One letter difference. Yes, TJ? There are many differences. For example, how they are when they're not whipping people into efficiency, Napoleon being too tough and showing no emotion, maybe. Being abstract in intuition, like something reached blindly in a dream. Being kind of intuitive while showing no emotion. These personalities are both very sensitive, like to their five senses, like reflexes, so much input for their brain, and through people. All throw being in their mind more. The world disappearing like distractions. Yen-TJ being vulnerable to cruel truths, cruel acts, feedback, recognition, and acceptance. About his abilities, perhaps, and shifting cold speech.
Yeah, because they want to play another game.
This is the very sensitive thinker, perhaps, like sensitive senses, behind a tough, group-leading exterior. It's tough like impossible intelligence, fueling a retort, all business, no bullshit. Every thinker struggles with a modern expression. But this guy is really going to get slapped presumptuously. A thinker knows how to express emotions all the way until it stops in his mouth. In efficiency, there is not always time for emotion if everyone cared for you smallest details. But smothering details might just the right thing to do sometimes. But he was about group strategic productivity, then business. He was a thinker businessman in this world. Shrewd, accomplished in a world of strategy. A game where the others didn't even have a foot in. And climbing ladders of capitalism that was a quest of honor. statistically being happy and good at all sorts of work, lended like an efficient arm. This is not near the 1700s, but at the 1000s, newly discovered Chinese black powder for weapons,
He's a player,
medieval
Kevin. This seems like
pirates,
fun.
a remarkable aromatic burnt Neapolitan. He had made coffee in the plain Caribbean coffee bean islands. It was as pungent as perfume, but didn't taste like perfume. It fell short with milk through, and the old ladies around the islands drank coffee quick. To drink coffee like water is being focused on logistics. It traded competitively around the islands, but people like Viscount, the Count were ready to invade his vineyards. Stormy, he had been stopped at the docks, and 6 ships were broadsiding. In the dark bottom storage, Napoleon found Viscount carrying off his produce, like a sinner, but the kind of predator to not be startled while getting caught, but steal harder. En garde. Stop in the name of Caribbean island coffee, still competition, and force of Napoleon Rapier's contemporary. I got your product figured out. Viscount was known as a great sculptor, making 7 sculptures already of himself. You wouldn't destroy my produce if you could never have it? Viscount's huge white ponytail like captain's hat looked aristocrate. He was the best dressed on the battlefield for sure, and incredibly flamboyant. No, I wouldn't. He raised his white gloves and 2 luxurious rapier. They fought with rapier cutlass, a new argument. Pirate Napoleon shot a grape shot big as a fist from his long musket. Viscount rolled like he was playing Dark Souls, and Napoleon destroyed his own mahogany desk, embers flashing his beard. Viscount stabbed for his heart greedily twice, but was superiorly deflected. Viscount was fast, and maybe weak. He would figure out that soon every thrust was piercingly deflected. Napoleon made a 6 slash on his chest, sacred blue candle HUH, and Viscount disarmed through the pain, defeated. An irrefutable piercing point. He felt like he had never worked out, but I guess there was no armor. Upon the decks, pirates fought without much clothes and armor, winning a battle that could determine the next. Viscount has been taken. Yield unto us. Comically, a lot of pirates tried to calm each other into stopping fighting. It's over. Stop fighting. Viscount has been defeated. As the pirate said this, shot a pirate in the face accidentally, looking at the crew. He opened his voice to speak, but instead caught a flying chicken in his mouth. It fluttered upset and confused. A pigeon took a shit on his shoulder, like experimental painter. Your pirates are standing on a knife's edge. Edge of a knife. A pigeon took a shit on his shoulder. Explosive splat. Thank you, pigeons. Can you aim better next time? Thus another pigeon shit on his next shoulder. I am beyond any pigeon shitting, he said bravely. They are nothing compared to me. I don't even see them. Napoleon tarred Count and shot him through a cannon straight up. He looked like a smoked chicken leg and in pain from contemporary canonmanship. A golden fleeced, disproportionately 1M large legs and ears bunny came to Napoleon's side with pink shining antlers. Windlance the golden-footed. You can have the new vineyard, fort, and I almost drank these barrels of smoked habanero Henri Bourgeois, and these delicacy ribs made from half plants and magic. They have bit back, I buy my release. Smoky blacked, hair-ruined Count Seth. Find your captain. In a culverin, Viscount was fired 30 meter into the sea, painfully, and his crew ran like theater pals concerned with their leader. Shit. He's a pussy, but at least he cares about the environment. If I wasn't such a versed coward, I'd care more about him losing. It's great working for him. He is a sensitive coward, many books. I am efficient, and I'm enjoying the circumstances of work. The Coffee Bean Islands were like a huge island territory, flying migrating whales with ghost light, green, luminescent undersides, except for the northwest, and a huge hull of water in the middle plus for islands. There were 7 territories, 8 colonies, and 9 pyrofactions fighting. Elves, France, England, Dwarf, Italy, Spain, China, with the 8th colony being barbarian and 9th pyrofaction the penniless corsairs. You were not allowed to eat the cows, sheep, and even goats here because they produced the cheese. The wine was warm, fruity, and 50% like juice, and was a place of nutty, chocolatey, creamy, and bitter coffee. The sport was a deconstructed version of baseball with more interrupting contemporary rules and 16 bases with more dangerous, longer strikes, different balls, and magic allowed in 5 instances that usually ended up with everyone drinking wine and fighting each other. This was a place where people drank more wine than beer, dark rum over spirits. Because of the wine culture, drinking lower percent wine was okay. Like contemporary, everyone being pliant with the new reasonable. And for teenagers, it was served in school, maximum 2 cups. Turns out alcohol makes you forget what you learn. well, just like in France. Smoking wisdom stem / clarity leaf, laggards, bountiful cheeky retort, and Cuban cigars was also legal at 16. A delicacy for some, a land of making money for those with taste buds. Everyone wanted the best, latest gourmand thing, ready to pay for it. There were breadsticks, chocolate chips, and peanut hazelnut chocolate pizza. They had restaurants like Religious, kept up to 14 icons of chefs and maximum 14 rating. Kept reviews, new cuisine, fusion cuisine. The food reviewers were cruel and feared, ready to be presumptuous. People cried at their qualms, ready to argue. Accept or both. You had to be traditional or creative depending on the food critic, really. The latest places, some affordable once in a while, they blew romantic experiences together. A cute time, but they savored the food more. Fat people were held to different conversations. They knew how it was here. The chefs were supposed to be overweight. The chocolate was sacred when you bought another 100G luxury piece for €7. They were complete, covered in flowers and delicacy coffee roses. There were peanut, butter, dark chocolate, and raw chocolate except for the pistachios and dried berries giving the flavor. There were standards by chocolate committees guaranteeing 50% chocolate and ingredients. Must be quite enjoyable working there getting batter and shut up chocolate. The committee were tremendous in wanting change and talking about audacious rights would have inspired Churchill. There was pommade, lemon curd, and handcrafted seedy rice snacks, incredible flowery experience, and Italian satisfaction. Scientists realized lemon is something else sweet. Olive oil and barbecue sauce was the religion, sacred, sold in artistic bottles, talked about like frail relatives, like dirty allowance. People sat outside the delicacy stores, having coffees to choose between. Remarkable pricing per cup. Brutes and pirate magicians respected the old ladies, drinking like experts, sharing in their ability to communicate, hold back things, and speaking with manners, concerned with the world of old people. So much time we spend being old and without hair, once you lose the top, it's over. From 50 to 100 there is half a life, being content, being less competitive. And the more coffee the islands drank, the older they got, spending quite a lot of time with white hair. Through knew quite why they got old, like elixirs and lactose. Inside the delicacy shops, which were magical and size like forgetting. The pirated lummoxed and considered price and value, duration and experience, some olive-fried Italian snacks, could be eaten for 30 minutes. Noon seemed to mind the Italians then, a golden air of tolerance like conversations about theater. Of olive oil, balsamico, and sauces there were ancient-shaped, supremely legendary price bottles, like 100 or 500 quid. They were shaped like cauldrons and elixirs. People imagined the taste and would not be disappointed. Of course, some delicacy tastes are hidden like a fainting parrot, but when you go back to normal price dry snacks, it is weighed like piercing. Sometimes they were stolen, but were insured by the state. There had been quite a need for this change. In the quite lethal pirate book of handcrafted laws, there were the protection of the taste-parched and correction of swaying drunk masters. There were sheep with 4 times as much wool, pure spears of bounciness and getting your equipment hidden forever. They could provide a honking sound that blasted you off your seat like an airbag. Some were pink, some had yellow wool. Piracy was common as Saturdays or maybe weekends in blinking anguish, time being contemporary and trickster. Everyone had practiced fencing, cannoneering, or hired muscle. Anti-piracy politicians were not ambitious and usually took cigars from the side, but the golden age of coffee beans actually was not yet. They drank wine in the arguing lower rooms and smoked the cigars between savory lies. The pirates lathed treasure, robbed each other, and glided free. They found hoards of treasure and gold to spend in French gilded ports, then competitively fought group to group, making territory. Offense was better than defense. Cigar-smoking masters clasped their heads, and they lost 2 territory for 3. It was possible that the most annoying defense, more defense than offense, was required, just large armies or mages, animals, and ships. The 13 seas were unexplored, the free pirate ports were cozy, small countries luxurious, cheeky and with advanced defense, cannonballs, and inventions, headed by pirate captains and shipwrecks. There was a castle of a shipwreck, huge yet still shipwreck. One devious plot was paying pirate ports to raid. Let's say Port Salad of its defenses, then you siege in and claim the port yourself. People changed ports often and nationalities. There goes the castle and its provincial yards again. Some pledged loyalty. Some turned into mixes of flags. Many tried their best. The French were very pleasant with their workers' laws. We see our hero James, after getting here, finding himself in a fine-ass establishment, small dancing room in the Royal Port Salad Ball. He had bribed the guard and smooth-talked himself into the privilege. The small orchestra was going crazy on classical music, speed and intensity technical to metal, wigs flailing. James was dancing like a god, tearing it up with his extreme sports designer wheelchair. He did one-wheel wheelies and break dances with. Our boy could spin on his head, arms, a wheelchair balancing skewed on
People are like,
uneven...
oh, you have to have higher combat levels to not be a noob on this account, but it's just like, it's a new account, man. It's so stupid. If you have, especially if you have a main, right? Thinking that you have to be in a certain grindy way in a game about, you are all about the progress. The length of the account is everything. So stupid, if I may say so. Don't be like that, champ. Stop it.
James was dancing like a god, tearing it up with his extreme sports designer wheelchair. He did one-wheel wheelies and break dances with. Our boy could spin on his head, arms, a wheelchair balancing skewed on uneven legs. How did he do this? Although daughters, the governors were 50 and the daughters 30. People were only interested in the beautiful daughters. In the end, the posh contestants applauded each other, and the boy James grabbed the port's governor's daughter, huge bosom and slender waist, let her see the room upside down from his grip, then he kissed her passionately. These daughters could be beautiful like this, with hair up in knots, ginger, blonde, and auburn. Thus he exited on his insane, magical, Black Power engine wheelchair, steering with XXL arms and bloody veins popping. His arms looked like he raced wheelchairs. He asked the daughter shorter, humble, linear, and contrite. She liked being taller for now, but could have enjoyed it more. Would you like to sit in my wheelchair? Dwarven technology. This is. She sat like a rescued dame. They blazed off in the luxurious governing halls with pitiful pastel coloring, James flying up the walls and looping the ceiling, avoiding people in the way. This was a common tradition. You might have won my heart over dancing again, James. I think for you, I have a look at these fine gifts. There are spare artsy parts like bonus quarterly wine. You are rich like doubt. 3 rapiers stabbing weapons, with luxurious artsy guards, detailed like getting new glasses and correcting someone. I don't have a rapier.
Please, just stop.
I don't have a rapier.
I don't think that. Racism taught. I think that racism can be largely taught. The problem of families teaching people like it was like a religion. You know, it's like indoctrinating. It's like hard for people to be convinced out of. Describing a reality that is, of course, incorrect, false. If people didn't do that, that'd be great.
I don't have a rapier. Fine amethyst. You bought me an amethyst. Quite. James procured a ruby from his pocket with at least shades of pink. Join me, fair lady, for a wheelchair race. Fishing of exotic laziness and rum drinking on a sunny beach. Like sinners are we, in lieu of toiling work and beautiful places forbidden. I love this amethyst. Sure, I'll go. Yes, it's with your Cuban friend. Her eyes love treasure as these ideas. Enter tropical fishing hut and beach, with Monsieur Mansion on the hill aft sunny vineyards. You know this, James, the adventurer and collector of keys now? Said Napoleon. Quite a charming rogue, said daughter
Let me
Weiss.
get some more
Daughter of
coffee.
all
Let me get
actors,
some
all
more
actors the
coffee.
governor. I like it when he tries to be posh and luxurious. He has a lot of money. People say he's an adventurer, successful one. Don't ruin it. Rev up, gentlemen. James and Olivia with one wheelchair, each revved and revved. Eventually fire was starting to break at the bottom wheels. And they are off. Zoom like greased lightning. James had such a lightning start, but somehow Olivia is keeping up with him. He's gaining in insanely muscular strides. They pushed each other. Wheelchair carnage. James hit the railings of the docks and glided until he had to jump a 2-meter gap down to the next railing. James tried and tried his best, but heart sinking, eventually Olivia rounded him. Finish around the beach. Well, Mr. Olivia was as muscular as steroids themselves, arms like a caricature. Intelligently, Napoleon didn't mind saying, "So we are 3 thinkers here, everyone exceptional. I think together we'll be a proud coffee gourmand office." Whatever thus, allegedly. So you don't mind working for me, French and coffee business. You will be my muscle, another territory gambit, fixer and mixer? Olivia spends all his free time mixturing with chemistry, and I don't think he sees beyond his routines. A care beyond employment, only when he really has to. Olivia didn't hear this, like he was selectively deaf. Be careful of the somewhat greater jungle demon. They're green and black colored like vines. Yeah, they're pretty dangerous. There's also the really quite proper jungle demon. Really, they're part of a worshipping cult of god Engelbrecht. They guard entrance to the several-layer dungeon Mook and Poison Dandelion, where pirates go to be squished. They are intelligent unless asked normal, chivalrous questions. Indeed. Oh dear. And on this French part of the island, we have 6 brown jungle pumas called Cappuccino Macchiato. Don't pull them in the balls or the tail. They can also reverb fart and go 20 meters into the sky. You're not a man unless you can pull a puma in the balls, said Olivia imposingly. Shut up, muscle nut, said Napoleon. Where I come from, Cuba, we say, not all that glitters is gold. Not all pumas you can pull balls down.
I think that's pretty funny, actually.
You're
but
not
it's
smart
good
like
enough.
this. It is borrowed words, said Napoleon. They think they are such big kitties. I can beat a puma with my fists or maybe a staff. They just bite in the throat to suffocate. That's all they have with their big arms. Just protect yourself from the claws. Wrestle with this fat, cute cat. I'm surprised the cheetah doesn't just tackle its foe with its speed. Is there an animal like this? The rhino is weight plus force, but where I come from we realize the peregrine falcon can reach 385 kilometers per hour. You don't see the bird, you just see the seagull getting clapped. We have the jungle penguin, the Acrian penguin. They're terrible at everything unless underwater. They're graceful swimmers. Some birds or mammals, you wonder if they are just victims. A life of being a blob. They can be very good at reproduction. They're giant herbivores without defense and used to be giant sloths. Teach me the ways to make coffee, Napoleon. My mind has never been larger. So how much free coffee is in the deal? Honestly, I drink about 10 cups a day, and tea. I exist in a state without minerals, he said, friendly conveying secrets of competence, and confidently. The cheapest stuff, Sunshine Raisin Meadows, you can have as much as you like. The aroma coffee? Maybe not. Can I try your best coffee? Aroma 1 and 2, no milk. That coffee has a punch of excellence, yet strange lands. Strangest beans. I get it. Milk ruins the
Coffee
antioxidants
milk.
we figured in the future.
Oh, it goes down the coffee taste. It's
He's
not
kidding,
about
right?
5 points out of 10.
No, we had a longevity thing.
Oh, well.
Country by country, already in our habits. No one would say no to drinking more coffee to get less cancer and heart disease, not British people. Black tea works too, almost as good as green. Don't bind the antioxidants to the milk protein. Tea leaves are healthy enough diluted, where you can eat whole powder matcha tea. Do you think it would sell dash, live longer, drink our luxurious coffee? James. Not bad, man. Well, we are trying to make our customers drink it black anyway. Be honest, right? Drink it black, also associated with living years longer. Stop adding milk. Who cares about the flavor? Really snort. Great text. Years? Just what do I not know from your experience? More like 1 to 2 years. Green tea repairs DNA. 2. Telomeres. It's beans, coffee beans, or antioxidants. The power of beans. You see these oak arms? James slapped his biceps. This is mostly made of beans, chickpeas, lentils, vegan stuff. I made sure as long I have worked out, the muscle fiber came from vegetarian sources. I doesn't feel like I am a step behind and muscle fibers forced to act and sacrifice youth. Green muscle. Your vegan bodybuilding diet is so fucking funny, said Olivia. Beans. Unable to contain himself, then he started on a wheezing laugh. He was confident in his old ways, ready to be very ambitious with his structure, gym ambition. Napoleon didn't lift heavy weight, but he could fence thus. Enter coffee, and coffee chocolate with a different air, expectations of air and different thou. This is aroma Napoleon, of our legacy? James, Olivia smelled and sipped intently. 5-second silence. Jesus Christ, that might be one of the best things I have ever drunk. So much aroma, so much flavor. The chocolate flavor comes for about a second, and it's like something chocolate related I never tried. Chocolate beans. There's sweetness like plum or vanilla. Gentle like sugar was not invented yet. I would be fine with this if there was no sugar. We have mocha coffee in my history, which is in the future, anyway. Half hot chocolate, half coffee. Could change the coffee around there. It's a bit limited like a gourmand hot dog. People don't buy the expensive coffee. I can't figure it out. Olivia enjoyed it in silence, and he wiggled it like tea. I'm used to this flavor now, Napoleon, Olivia said. Well, it is a bean, James. It's 30% Blue Mountain, the best and most expensive bean in the world, followed by chocolate Black Mountain, Gold Rush beans, something that grows here like a gold mine. I secured the land with a heavy investment. Thankfully, I was the highest bidder, he said poshly. Power of beans. Power of beans. Napoleon went for a hillbilly impression. The chocolate they sold with the coffee was like melted chocolate rich for seconds, and then nothing. This is our main seller, even if it's expensive aroma Napoleon. Yeah, this is supposed to be had black, I can tell, said James. This makes me feel acute and smarter, said Oliva, impossibly deep and impressionable. So it changes flavor, what, 4 to 5 times? I barely have patience for this. I sense dark and bitter transformations. I guess it could have even more expensive and luxurious punch. More of the same. Also very aromatic 10-10 coffee. The other was 9. I guess it has distinct transformations, said Olivia. He was pleased and pleasant. I am a bit stuck on how to change my product, unless we're talking about this smoky bourbon coffee. Change the beans, said James. Out of 10 changes, 1 will be good. To be honest, I'm not a very typical worker. I'm an abstract, improvising idea working worker. I would work the best in science or constantly improving something like a rocket to space. The half of people who aren't planners are improvising through and adaptive.
That's pretty good.
They do things and in random directions, maximizing their energy, spontaneity. Anything with moving arms can do this job, said Napoleon. Just do what I tell you to do. Interesting opinion. Everyone is spontaneous sometimes. I know a poison that would improve the flavor, Olivia said, suddenly detached and insane. Can you make it non-poisonous? Napoleon. No, the flavor is the poison. Okay, first we take a vacation, am I right? I have English colony Barbados rum, said Napoleon. Last time I was in English Barbados, I was drunk for a month, cheap sozzled through. Stupid winds blew me to Point a Petra, Harridan, the flying axeman. Olivia. Wake up in a bathtub, puking tequila and glitter. I heard
Alright, whatever, here's an idea.
I heard vampires, like drinking your blood.
Here's an idea, let's play another game, let's play some Hearthstone.